16 on the Chapter 7 review. So a boat traveled 210 miles downstream and back. The trip downstream took 10 hours, and the trip back took 70 hours. What is the speed of the boat in still water? And what is the speed of the current? Okay. So the crux of this problem has to do with the relationship amongst distance, rate, and time. So we know rate is equal to distance over time, and speed is a type of rate. Speed is a type of rate. So we know that we have two trips. We have the upstream trip. So we have upstream. And we have downstream. Okay, so we also know that the distances are equal to each other. Okay, distances are equal to each other. So we know that essentially distance, the distance downstream, or the rate times time downstream, is equal to the rate times time upstream. These two distances are equal. The rates and the times that it takes to get there are different. Okay? So we know that the rate upstream, so we can call this B, is the boat speed in still water, is the boat speed in still water, in water that's not moving at all. And we're going to call C the current, the rate at which the water is moving. Okay? So we've got rate upstream. Upstream means you're going against the current. So we know for this, the distance is going to equal the rate, which is going to be the boat speed in still water minus the current, times the time that it takes to get upstream. Well, what's the time that it takes to get upstream? 70 hours. And then for downstream, our distance, our rate downstream is the boat speed plus the current, because it's going in the same direction, that it's helping. And it's times a time of 10 hours. Okay. So we know the boat also traveled 210 miles downstream and then back. So essentially, we know that each one of these is equal to 210. So we have 210 here. So this distance is 210, and this distance is 210. So what I have here, if I distribute, I have 70B minus 70C equals 210. And then I have 10B plus 10C also equals 210. So that's the system of equations that I've created that I now have to solve. So I'm going to solve it using elimination. So I'm going to multiply this equation by 7 to make 70B plus 70C equals 210. Sorry, not 210. 1470, 7 times 210. And then I'm going to add this equation to it. 70B plus, I guess, minus 70C equals 210. I'm going to add these two. I get 140B, 140 times B, the boat speed in still water, equals 1470 plus 210. That's 1680. 1680. Divide by 140, and we get that B equals 12. And that's the boat speed in still water, 12 miles per hour. Now I solved for B first, and that's what the question was asking for here. But I also want to know the speed of the current. So the boat in still water is 12 miles per hour. The speed of the current we have to plug back in to get. So speed of the current, we can plug it into this equation. 10 times B, which is 12, plus 10C equals 210. 120 plus 10C equals 210. 10C equals 90. Subtracting 120 from each side, divide by 10, we get C equals 9 miles per hour. So the speed of the current is 9 miles per hour. So 12 miles per hour on the boat, 9 miles per hour is the speed of the current. All right, we got VV's custom kitchen supplies. So we have some information here. So the costs first. So $170 to buy supplies to make a fork. So $170 for a fork and $130 for a spoon. Okay, so costs, it's always good to jot down your notes. So spoon is $1.30 and a fork is $1.70. That's how much it costs for them to buy the stuff they need to make it. And then the sales price for each spoon is $5.40 and fork is $5.60. Expensive spoons and forks. Maybe. Haven't really bought forks a lot, so I wouldn't really know. All right, so last April. So that's our information. Last April, VV's Custom Kitchen Supplies spent $37.90 on materials for forks and spoons. Materials, so that's this stuff. So we can say $130 times the number of spoons plus $170 times the number of forks equals $37.90. That's how much they spent on materials. So X is forks. So X is spoons, how many spoons, number of spoons. And Y represents the number of forks. So we have that equation, and then we have the other equation. They sold the finished products for a total of $147.20. Not a lot of money for a whole month worth of stuff. So spoons, $5.40 times this, so that's the price of the spoon times however many spoons, plus the price of the forks times however many forks, equals a total of $147.20. Okay, so how many forks and how many spoons did they make last April? All right, I don't see a real easy way for us to use elimination here. So since this is on the calculator portion of the test, we can use our trusty matrix operations to make a matrix and use a matrix to solve this. Because why not, right? It's another tool that we have at our disposal. So 130, 170, 540, 560. X and Y. If you ever use this method, make sure you set up the matrix equation. 3790, 147.20. And now we can set this up. This is matrix A, this is matrix C, that's matrix X. Multiply both sides by the inverse of A to get X by itself. So we're going to plug this in as matrix A, this is matrix C, and do A inverse C. So we need a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 1. Let's go set it up. second matrix. So I'm going to use this B and C, my 2 by 2, my 2 by 1. So we've got 130, 170, 540, 560. So 1.3, whoops, 1.3, 1.7, 5.4, and 5.7. 1317, 5457. Oh, 56, 560, I misentered it. Okay, so there's matrix B, our coefficient matrix. Now we're going to do matrix C, which is our constants. And they are 3790 and 14720. So 37.9 and 147.2. Here we go. We're going to do B inverse times C. B inverse times matrix C. And we get 20 and 7. 20 and 7 as our final answer for X and Y. So X and Y equals 20 and 7. 20 and 7. So 20 spoons and 7 forks. And there we go. All right, 18, last final problem here. So it costs Nigel's publishing company $50,000 to make books. The $50,000 is a fixed cost or a cost that cannot change. Okay, so $50,000 fixed cost. All right, to help the publishing company sell the books, a marketing company charges $4 for each book sold. The company charges $9 per book. How many books should they sell to break even? Okay, so basically they're selling the books for $9 a piece. So we want two things to happen to break even. We want the money coming in, i.e. the revenue. Another word for money coming in. That's just $9 times however many books are sold. We'll call that X. X is books sold. And we want that to equal the money going out. That's what break even is. Money going out. Those are costs, things you spend, costs. So we have total cost. $50,000, that's fixed, means it does not change. So $50,000, that's $50,000 plus $4 each book. So $4 times X. So 9X equals 50,000 plus 4X. So solve for X. So subtract 4X from each side. We get 5X equals 50,000. Divide by 5, and we get X equals 10,000 books is the break-even point. How many books should they sell to break even? 10,000. That concludes the Chapter 7 review video.